such as finding meaning behind words. We have found that there's beauty in physics. We have explored randomness, dissected hearts, and became analytical historians and inquiring geographers. And if we were little, we did it while writing a 4,000-word essay, completing CAS, and doing a TUK essay and presentation. A more than an amazing accomplishment, I shall say. So now that we find ourselves coming to the end of this rigorous program, we shall look back and ask ourselves, what do we take from it? In the past 2 years, we have received the education that will allow us to succeed in our next step. But most importantly, we have acquired the skills to excel in life. Those long nights completing IAs or studying for exams, those weekends dedicated to CAS, the summer of writing, drafting, and editing or extended essay, those pounds that we all lost with the stress of approaching examination, and the pain in our hands from clinging onto the pen, determined to write so killer essays in the exams, are not only over, but completely worth it. Without the troubles of the diploma, we wouldn't have learned leadership, open-mindedness, honesty, modesty, solidarity, courage, efficiency and organization, being balanced, thinking things through, and reflecting on our work to identify our strengths and weaknesses. Albert Einstein once said, "Try not to become a man of success, but rather try to become a man of value." We all began in the Met as boys and girls, and it has been with the work and effort of the passionate funders of the school, the dedicated directors, coordinators, and principals, and the care of our teachers, added to the unconditional support from our families, family and friends, that we leave as valuable ladies and gentlemen. Before I conclude, I would like to take this opportunity to first thank my classmates, since your support has been a source of inspiration to strive for excellence. And further congratulate you for standing strong until the end, because it doesn't matter what our score is, the paper will eventually perish, but the values and abilities that we have gained will remain and develop through experience in the future. Thank you.
Good evening, everybody. So, I was told to be brief, so I'll try my best, but I can't promise anything. And I can already see Mr. Hayes going like, oh god, he's gonna take forever. In all the seriousness, however, being part of a Met's first graduating class and addressing you all at this very moment is truly a privilege. Since we have had the opportunity to get to know each other well in these last 2 years, I will start with a story that began before that, and hopefully connected to some of the lessons I have learned along the way. I used to be a very different person 4 years ago. Believe it or not, I was not a straight-A's kid, at all. I used to be in an environment where everything was about memorizing irrelevant details for quizzes every single day, obtaining Best Delegate Awards for debate, and surviving the wrath of my teachers for missing school for doing the things that I liked, despite that they were very academic in nature. I was far from motivated, but I was afraid of trying to change things, as that implied abandoning the comfort zone that I had within my friends. The option for changing schools appeared in my life when I was a freshman, but I refused without thinking twice. However, as this discomfort took its toll on me, I reconsidered my options, and around the end of my sophomore year, I finally had the courage to open my thick skull a little bit, and I paid a visit to the Met. What I found here helped me make the decision to change schools almost instantly. Classes were no longer traditional, and instead of rote memorization, there was analysis, international mindedness, discussion, respect, kindness, things that actually matter to me. This brings me to my first point. Don't rest until you find what you want. And if it takes risk to get there, you will find more comfort in failing than regretting for a lifetime not taking that risk. Besides making lifelong friends and enjoying a well-rounded education that has allowed me to thrive, the Met has literally changed the course of my life. 6 months ago, who would have thought I would end up studying at NYU Abu Dhabi? And no, Ms. Grover, you don't have to tell my parents that you're sorry, don't worry. The Met has also allowed me to experience leadership by giving me the support to pursue my ambitions and share my passions with others. Our first debate conference last year and my participation at the International Mathematical Olympiad are examples of the opportunities that I could harness here. For this, I cannot find the words to express my gratitude, for I am walking away as a different individual than I was when I first arrived, with experiences that will stay with me for the rest of my life. This brings me to my second point about my story with the Met. Take advantage of the opportunities available to you because most people are not as privileged as we are to even have them. Don't be afraid to be bold and persistent, for it will take you where you want. Never stop learning, for there is an ocean of knowledge out there that matches your interests, perhaps even waiting to be discovered. I only know that I will never explore all of my ocean, and if I regret one thing, is to not have started exploring it earlier. However, beyond all of this, always be humble, for you are blessed to be where you are, and you will always, always find someone better than you at what you do. Trust me, I have been there. Now that I am done with the cliches, which are cliches because they are true, I would like to deliver a few words of gratitude. I would like to thank my parents and my family for giving me unconditional support for all my life, for being an integral part of my decisions, and for shaping me into the person I am today. I would like to thank my teachers. Ms. Wimberly, thank you for all that you have taught me about writing. I would easily argue you got me into college. Thank you, Ms. Grover, for sitting down with me to write all of those college essays, for checking them the day before the deadline because of my fault, for taking all that time to just let me talk out how I felt about things, and ultimately for helping me decide what I will do with the next 4 years of my life. Tia Daisy, thank you for being like our second mother in the school, always cheering us in the morning when we had nothing to cheer for in our faces. To Ms. Gonzalez, to Mr. Hayes, Mr. Carper, Mr. Orellana, and all the other DP teachers, thank you for your support, patience, and perseverance in these very challenging years. It has been challenging for you too. Thank you, Mr. Hengelbrook, Mr. Toribio, and Mr. Simone, for your support with the debate club. Without you, I would have been rendered unable to continue this activity that I have a passion for. And finally, thank you, class of 2016, for helping me keep my sanity and for being such an amazing group. I will never forget you. I leave you with this quote from Steve Jobs, one of my role models. Your time is limited, so don't waste it living someone else's life. Don't let the noise of others' opinions drown you out of your own inner voice. And most important, have the courage to follow your heart and intuition. They somehow already know what you truly want to become. Everything else is secondary. Thank you.